This is a video to help anyone out who is still having problems making a map using American Fact Finder, or you're just making sure that you're doing it the right way and you want to double check. So we're going to start from the very beginning and then we're going to work through an example. First thing you want to do, go to a search engine, probably Google, use whatever search engine you want, and type in American Fact Finder. So that is the tool we're going to be using. Search will bring you here. It should be the number one result. If it isn't, just look for the one that is at the census website. So you click American Fact Finder. Once you are here, there are other ways to make a map, but we want to use the advanced search. This gives you the most power. It gives you the most ability to say, this is the information I'm looking for and this is where I want to map it. So click on advanced search. Once you go here, you want to start out by choosing location. So what type of unit, so how big a unit, and where am I using those units? So click on geographies. And remember, this is the part where I think a lot of you are making a mistake. This is the most common mistake that people make. So whatever geographic type you're looking for, you want to choose one geographic type a little bit smaller. What I mean by that is, if you are making a map of the whole United States, then you want to choose states, which is one smaller, and say I'm going to map all the states within the United States. So you would choose state, and then all states within the United States and Puerto Rico. If you are choosing to make a map of New York State, you want to choose all the counties, right? It will map all the counties within, you select a state you're interested in, New York. And then you can choose all the counties within New York. If you want to make a map of just the county, then you have to choose what's smaller than that, and what I recommend is census tract. On the assignment, it will tell you which unit that you're supposed to be mapping and what I'm actually looking for. So if we're doing county, we would choose census tract, then we would choose the state. So in this case, I'm having you map a county in New York. You would choose census tract, the state New York. You would select the county, which would be Monroe County. Then you can choose all the census tracts within Monroe County. For the sake of the example, we're just going to do, let's do counties within New York State. So again, we go to county. We're interested in mapping the whole state, so we choose one unit smaller. So we got county. Then we go to New York. And let's choose all counties within New York. After you choose the geography you want, first thing you do is click Add to your selection. By doing that, it will put what you chose in this cart up here, so you can see that you actually have what you want. And then you want to go to Map. That's a way of just checking that it's actually focused on the area that you're interested in. So I was trying to get all the counties in New York. I don't have any data yet. I don't have any actually specific topic that I'm looking at, but I have all the counties within New York mapped right here. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to look for topics. All the topics that I gave you for this assignment are going to be found within people. However, there's a ton of different topics. You could go to business and industry. You could go to housing. Housing's really interesting. You can see who rents, who owns. But I'll show you one in people as an example because that's what you're focusing on in this assignment. So say we wanted to look at poverty in New York State. For the assignment, I have you look at poverty in the country. But if we're doing poverty within New York State, we could click poverty. And then we're interested in poverty. Click on that again. Then it's going to give you a bunch of different tables to choose from. In the assignment, I tell you the topic that you're looking for. Choose the table with the name of the topic you're looking for. In this case, you might be interested in poverty status in the past 12 months. So we're going to click on that table. What this does is it gives you a list of all these different things you potentially could map on the geography you selected already, which is up here. So let's click poverty status in the past 12 months. This is going to load a map. Next thing that's key, you're going to click create a map. This is all the stuff you can map. Until you click create a map, this isn't something you can click on, right? So a lot of you are getting to this point and saying, well, I'm not able to make a map. Well, click create a map. Suddenly it's giving you those options. The other thing to pay attention to, make sure whether you're trying to determine the percentage of a topic or the total number. If you choose the total number, it's just going to say how many people have this characteristic, and it's going to skew towards areas with a higher population. So if you're trying to map the percent of people below poverty level, don't choose total. You want to be over in this percent range. So you have percent, and then you're trying to look, all right, what am I interested in? Am I interested in all the males below poverty level, all the females below poverty level? I'm interested by distribution of age. We're not interested in any of those. We're just trying to say, of all the people living in New York State, how many people have a poverty status that's been determined? So we click on that percentage, and that is going to make the map. So then you hit show map, and then you have your information. This is all you need to answer the questions. If you want, you can do what David Craker showed us, which is you can make the transparency a little less, makes it darker, easier to determine the difference, easier to find a pattern, see which are the lighter ones, which are the darker ones. So the darker ones would be the areas with more poverty, lighter would be less poverty. You could change the color if you want. So maybe you want to make it something a little prettier, do that. Might even be easier to see the patterns once you do that. The other thing that's really important, two things. First, you might want to add streets. Now, the reason you would do that is it makes it easier to see where things are located. So now you see the city names, right? So if you're trying to describe which areas have a higher percentage of poverty, which areas have a lower percentage of poverty, now we can see there's an area surrounding Rochester where there's actually a decent amount of poverty, right? So you can say that a lot easier when you have that information added. If you don't have that, it's hard to say where something's occurring. The other thing that's useful is if you're mapping all the states within the United States, then you have the state name. A lot easier to find a state that you might not recognize. Say you can't identify Rhode Island or West Virginia or Idaho. Now you have these names which will help you locate them. The other tool that's going to be very important is this identification tool over here. If you click identify, then you can go to any specific area on the map and find out what the data actually is. So what's the percentage by Rochester? Well, we click and we see Monroe County has 14.8% poverty. If you're trying to compare that to another county, say, how about up here, click here, we can see this is 14.5. So there's actually a little less poverty in Shenango County than there is for Monroe County. Comparing it over here, we see Hamilton County, only 9.7. A lot fewer people living in a state of poverty. So that's how you make the maps. Hopefully this helps. When you're done making a map and you want to go to a new one, just click on Advanced Search, clear all your selections. So you go back to ground one and then start over by choosing geography, your topic, and going from there. Hopefully that helps. Good luck. That is all.